show. Well, we probably know it's generally good advice not to critique someone else's parenting, but what if we're talking about family? Because a woman, she wrote to Dear Amy to ask if she should say something to her brother and his wife, who she says are lazy parents, and they let their kids do whatever they want. All right, who wants to dive in? Do you say something or you keep your trap shut?
Yeah, I mean, I would never say something to anyone, even my sister. I would never be like, yeah, I think you're late. Like, I just wouldn't do it. I do suspect I'm a lazy parent. I do. And I feel like I watch some of my friends who are running around and they're doing hockey practice this weekend and they're up and doing that and I admire it, but I will not do it. And I basically only do stuff with my son that I want to do. Like this weekend, for example, Jason goes, I think we should take Jaya snowboarding. I was like, you can do that. I'm not coming. Yeah. And then basically I said, Jaya, would you rather go for a walk in the woods with me? Because that's what I wanted to do. And he's like, I'd rather go with you. So we had a lovely walk in the woods this weekend. I may look back and like, my kid might not have any skills. He might not know how to do anything, but I will have enjoyed.
I don't know if I would call that lazy parenting. I would almost call it like vintage parenting.
Thank you.
If you think, look, this sister was upset, and she's child-free. She was upset that her brother's kids, they immediately get together and play with other kids and like go outside and they don't see them for a while. I'm like, that sounds like, as a child-free adult, a dream to me, like when you're together. And it sounds like my childhood. Whenever there was any sort of family gathering, it's like the kids got there, we'd sort of come up with a plan and then the parents wouldn't see us. And then we'd come back knowing, sort of sniffing around like dinner's ready, let's do it, refuel and then leave. It just sounds like, it's parenting from the 80s.
Yeah.
I just don't understand why she'd have a problem with it.
Yeah.
It's dreamy.
It's dreamy, and this is why I think she has no business opening her mouth, and the fact that she's writing to Dear Prudence or whoever she wrote to and not talking to her brother with problems. Listen, I probably was like her, though, at one time in my life, probably on this very show before I had my own child. I had a lot to say about people's parenting. But I'll tell you something. When the little person comes into your life, it's a whole different ballgame, and I do not need your 2 cents unless I ask for it, okay? And the reason why is the way I approach parenting, the way you approach parenting, everyone's gonna be different. Your life history comes to bear, all of the things. But to your point, there's something that has shifted so massively. We talk about it all the time on the show, the way that we were raised, which is much like these kids. What's her biggest problem? That the 4- and 6-year-old, they disappear and they go play in the river or whatever. I don't know what they're even doing.
Maybe not the river.
But you do bring up a good point, because she's like, I don't think the way they're raising their kids is safe. And I'm gonna tell you something about that word safe. That is a dog whistle. To me, the word safe means you are just being judgy. Because guess who wants to keep those kids safer than anybody, probably? Their own parents, okay?
Yeah.
So give the parents the benefit of the doubt. But I do know that I've become the parent because parenting has swung the other way. I have to fight being on my child so much that it's not a lazy parent. I feel like I'm an anxious parent. It's anxious parenting, and I think it's very unhealthy.
Do you guys feel like if you're trying too hard, you'll get labeled a helicopter parent, but if you don't do enough, it's like now there's this new word, I call it vintage parenting, other people call it lazy parenting. But is that always like a push and pull?
You can't win.
Oh, I think we're always secretly worried about being judged. I don't know, at least I am.
Yeah, for sure. You have lots of kids in your life. Have you ever been tempted to, you look at the kid or you look at the way the parent is going and you think to yourself, like, I think you suck. Like, have you ever had that, or you should do this?
Tell your kid to say sorry.
I have that thought, but I would but then, listen, I do what old-fashioned people do, is go talk about them behind their backs. Like,
another vintage.
I will tell you this, talking to someone about parenting, no offense, is the last conversation I want to have. I'm sorry, but like, a person who has no children does not want to talk. So I don't know who this person is trying to butt their business into someone else's business. Why do you want to talk to another parent about parenting? You couldn't interest me. Like, I would rather talk about so many other things. War, famine, I want to solve those things. I want to talk about, social services. I would rather talk about anything else than listen to parents talk about parenting.
So, and if you do want to pipe in, as this sister does, maybe the only thing you should be saying to your brother is, when can I take the kids to babysit?
That's nice.
Only thing she should be saying. Not for you. Not for you.
Hey there, wasn't that great? Do you know where you can find some equally good content? Our YouTube page. It's filled with discussions, debates, and some laughs. Head there now, like and subscribe.